I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And this is Video Game Eats.
We craft your favorite foods from your favorite video game.
Today we're making
supper from the Lord of the Rings.
You'll make him sick, you will. Behaving like that. There's only one way to eat a brace of Coneys.
So the first recipe that we're making for supper is Sam's Coney stew. That delicious... Now you're not Coney. So the first recipe we're starting off with today is Sam's Coney stew. It's the stew that, if you recall, him and Gollum are arguing about what to put potatoes in.
Stupid fat hobbit. It ruins it.
So the first thing we're going to start with is seasoning up our rabbit. Now you're wondering where we may have found rabbit from in a supermarket near us. The secret is, we lied, it's chicken. If you can't find any rabbit, chicken thighs work great. So what we're first going to season this chicken with is half of a teaspoon of allspice, half of a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and we have a half teaspoon of thyme and a half teaspoon of sage we're going to add as well. I'm going to give it a little hit of this as a binding agent, which we may have learned in Borderlands, and we're going to give it a toss. Look at that rabbit coming together. Once the rabbit is all seasoned up evenly, we're going to go ahead and throw this into our pot. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of our favorite olive oil. And we're going to toss this chicken in. Wrap it in. So what we're doing at this stage is we are browning the chicken / rabbit. What we want to do is create a nice fondant, and that's the wrong word. Glaze? We're just browning the chicken, dude. Raw. I like it raw. And wriggling. And just like that, the chicken rabbit is browned. Next, we're going to take the chicken off, put it onto a plate, because we will need to reuse this bowl and all that beautiful chicken rabbit fat and oil. We're taking the chicken out, but we're leaving all the nice font on the bottom there, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. So we're going to put the chicken aside, and we're going to go ahead and put in the onions. A obnoxious amount of onions. Now I've tossed onions a little bit. The recipe calls to put some sugar in to make it caramelize a little bit faster for us, and we mix that up. And now that the 3 onions that are all diced are in there, we're gonna stir for 15 minutes.
What we need is a few good taters.
What's taters, precious? What's taters, eh?
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
So, instead to caramelize it, we're lazy, we're not waiting. It's been longer than 15 minutes, we're just mixing it together. So the next step of our somewhat caramelized, mostly caramelized, not necessarily caramelized onions are to throw in some red wine vinegar, 3 ounces of this bet, and a cup, a little more than a cup of wine, red wine, your favorite red wine, or inexpensive as the book says. I didn't put the garlic in. Boop. That's supposed to be way earlier. We're gonna leave the lid off and let that reduce. It says to 1/3 until we're tired of waiting. So it has been way longer than the book has led us to believe, but we have reduced it to roughly 1/3 the amount it was before. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in some tomato paste, 2 tablespoons to be precise, and 2 bay leaves.
the chicken's in.
And then last but not least, we're throwing this chicken in. Back on in. Then we're gonna go ahead and make sure that the chicken is completely covered by the wine and onions and all that delicious stuff. So now once everything's in there, we're gonna go ahead and cover this bad boy up. And if you're using chicken, bake it for 90 minutes. If you're using rabbit, bake it for 2 hours at 300 degrees. Next, Kevin's gonna make some rosemary lamb skewers.
I made some stew.
I'll tell you what, Sam makes a really good Coney stew, but we're gonna make some even better rosemary lamb skewers right now. First things first, we got our glass bowl, which I almost just broke. And we have a pound of lamb that we chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped until it's almost ground lamb. And we're gonna take that and slap it into our bowl. We're also gonna take 6 anchovies, add that on in there. 1 clove of crushed garlic, 1 tablespoon of chopped rosemary, and then 1 small onion finely diced. And we're gonna go ahead right in with our hands, and we're, oh, actually wait, before we go in with our hands, we gotta do a little salt and pepper action. Lamb is a little gamey, so we definitely wanna get hella salt on there to fix it up. And then we're also gonna take a little bit of this ground black pepper from this Gandalf grinder. He actually gave us a little piece of the stone on his staff, so we get a light too. Really cool thing.
Thank you kindly, Grand Elf.
And is it Grand Elf or Gandalf? I mean, did you guys pick that up in the movie too, or the show? I mean, what the heck's going on there? All right, and now we're gonna go in with our hands, and we're just gonna mix this all together.
And do a swirl.
All right, so we squished all our lamb and onion together and our rosemary, and now we got a big ball of lamb, onion, and rosemary. We soaked our skewers. Oh, we soaked our skewers so they don't burn on the grill. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of our lamb, onion, and rosemary squishiness, and we're gonna take it, we're gonna get it into like a sausage, a thin sausage. We're gonna take a skewer, we're gonna skewer it. Poor lamb, never had a chance. And then we're gonna set this on a plate here, just like that. And we're gonna repeat until you have all your skewers covered in this delicious gamey lamb meat. Oh, slap that on your plate. The key here is to chill these before you grill them so they stay together nicely. And once we're done forming these, we're gonna put them in the fridge for about 30 minutes before we put them on the grill. And you're gonna squish it on out. Oh, oh, oh. And we got our last skewer, and we're gonna stick it on our plate here. While our skewers are in there chilling, we're gonna get to making some tomato, onion, black olive, basil, lemon, salt, pepper, and olive oil salad. First things first, we have some tomatoes, and Jay wedged these. So we're gonna go ahead and dump those in our bowl. And next up, we're gonna take 1 red onion, and we're gonna go ahead and get that in there. And next, we're gonna take 2/3 of a cup of black olives, add that in. We're gonna take, 7 or 8 basil leaves. We're gonna tear those up, and we're gonna add that in there as well. We're gonna hit it with a healthy amount of salt, because salt and tomatoes is the most delicious thing that has ever been combined. And then after the salt, we're gonna give it a healthy dose of pepper. Grand Elf could definitely have made this a little bit faster. Once we got our pepper in there, we're gonna go ahead and take some graza. We're gonna give it a little coating of that. And then we got a little bit of lemon, and we're just gonna give it a little juice. And get the out of here. But anyway, now that lemon's out of our way, we're gonna go ahead and take our hands in there and just give this a nice mix.
There we go.
And would you believe that we're done with that already? It was that simple, that quick. And I'm telling you, this is gonna be a delicious little treat with our lamb skewers.
Oh, yes, the dwarves that go swimming with little hairy women.
The final recipe today is some mulled wines of Moria. First, we're gonna start by popping up this bottle and filling up this guy. The first step is just dump all the wine in. Whoops.
It's not low.
Guess not. The next step is 1 cup of apple juice. The next step is 1 cup of water. We gotta make some orange juice. He didn't give me a knife, so we're just... What do you think, Kev? Just squeezing. Ugh. Once you juice an orange, the out of here. Then we're gonna add the slices of the orange peel into the drink here. And then we're gonna toss all of these lemons right on in. We're going to add a bay leaf. We're going to add cloves and a second bay leaf. It went out of the one into the other. We're going to add a stick of cinnamon cut in half. We have a 2/3 cup of sugar. We're going to add that. And then lastly, 2 cups of brandy. You're a fine girl. And we got to cover this up. So now that this is all covered up, we're gonna let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And next, Kevin is gonna grill up those lamb skewers.
All right, final step for our lamb skewers is to grill these bad boys up. That stew is just about ready to go. And we are really hungry. So we are gonna get this grill lit on up and fire! And then all we're gonna do is you're gonna take a skewer. Well, it's chilled. You can probably squeeze it out a little bit more. And then all you're gonna do, drop that sucker on the grill. Again, drop that sucker on the grill. Drop that sucker on the grill. You know the drill. Drop that sucker on the grill. And then we let these toast up. We're gonna give them about 5 minutes on each side. All right, our lamb skewers have been going for about 10 minutes. They look a little something like that. Oh, these are gonna be really good with that tomato salad. And now, we're gonna plate everything up. Episode 6, LOTR Eats.
Supper.
That's a finale. What did he say?
Is it a finale?
I don't know. Of this season.
It is the last episode of Lord of the Rings Eats. We're gonna be doing a fun Halloween special, but ignoring all that, let's dive into some food, huh?
What are we starting with, Jay?
I'm starting with the lamb.
All right. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
We got our skewers lamb. It's actually really, really good.
It's burnt, but
Oh, there's that lamb taste.
the game,
Yeah. I mean,
video game he eats.
video gamey eats. That's good, Jay.
You gotta add in the
It's good.
salsa here.
This is actually tomato, olive, basil, onion, olive oil, and something else soup. Goes really well with them skewers.
All right, we gotta have a little palate cleanser here. This mulled wine at Moria.
Cheers. This is gonna be nice and warm.
gonna be
It's
aggressive.
freezing right now.
Dude, the wind stopped. That's how strong it was.
Who would make this recipe?
Hard pass.
Really warms up the soul.
Dwarves do some stuff with that.
Yeah. And them and their little hairy women. Nothing wrong with hairy women, but just, you know. But the star of the show,
What I will say is that
Sam's Coney stew.
Sam's Coney stew. I did not take out the bay leaves. Good luck.
Ah, jeez. Just give it a look. I'm just gonna dive on in.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That's good.
The wine base, it is a very thick version and it's reminiscent of the Westfall stew. But the chicken It just falls right apart.
Oh man, that's really good. I would just add a touch more salt and then this would be absolutely perfect. But other than that, delicious. Not a huge fan of the lamb. I just personally don't like the lamb flavor. That tomato salad was really good. I would eat that any day of the entire year, no matter what the temperature is outside. And this wine, never gonna touch again. But what should everybody do, Jay?
Get very excited for the Halloween special.
Heck yeah. And
Subscribe. Bye.
see ya. This stew is delicious.
This stew is delicious. Sorry.
Yeah. It's like